Guys, this is Suyesh here, and in this video we'll be continuing in the second section of our pharmacokinetics, okay, in the general pharmacology. So we'll be discussing the second topic, that is the drug distribution. So in the previous video, as we have discussed the absorption of the drug, now the drug has reached in the systemic circulation, and from there now the drug has to distribute to other organs or tissues or towards the extracellular fluid and intracellular fluids. Okay, so that will be seeing the factors affecting the drug distribution, how the drug distribution is done, okay, and volume of apparent distribution. Everything we will be discussing in this video. Okay, so as we have discussed ADME, so we are in the second, that is the distribution of the drug. We have seen the absorption, so watch that video first and then come to this video. Clear? So the drug distribution, now the blood has reached in the systemic circulation as we have discussed in the first video. Clear? So once the drug has reached the bloodstream, that what I have written. Okay, now the drug reversibly leaves. Okay, now the drug leaves through the bloodstream, okay, and get distributed into tissues. Like tissues can be like other tissues which are present in the organs and the extracellular fluids. Okay, and now tissues can be organ, any organ, it can liver, brain. Okay, so these organs, the drug is distributed for the action of the drug, where the action is to be performed according to that. Clear? So now the factors which we have to see mainly, okay, which will be affecting the drug distribution or the drug which is distributed from plasma to the tissue. Okay, plasma is actually present in the blood, so we are considering the bloodstream as plasma. Okay, in the plasma, firstly the drug reaches after absorption, and then from there the drug goes into the tissues. Okay, so the first factor we have to discuss is the lipid solubility. So as we have discussed in absorption also, it was the most important factor. Okay, so here also the most important factor is this, our lipid solubility. Okay, so more the lipid soluble drug, so the higher is the distribution of the drug. Okay, so it is the most important factor. Lipophilicity, you can say, it will be affecting as the you can say the capillaries or the layers of the organs are lipid soluble. Only lipid soluble drugs can pass. Okay, so that is why the drug should be in the non-ionizable form and lipid soluble. Okay, now we have to see the capillary permeability. So in this only your lipid soluble concept will be clear, more clear. Okay, so what is the concept of lipid solubility here? So we have to see actually the two main organs like brain. Firstly, the main organ is brain, and usual capillary in other organs like can be in liver, kidney, okay, spleen. Okay, so these organs have the different capillary cross section. This is actually cross section, okay, and this is cross section of brain. Okay, so the difference we have to see is that, so in this you can see this is actually the outer layer is your basement membrane as I have marked, and inner layer is actually your endothelial cell. Okay, endothelial cell as I have marked. Clear? So in the normal capillaries, normal organs capillaries, we have a slit junctions here. So you can see these gaps here. These are actually called as slit junction. Clear? So this slit junction, you see actually in the, you can say this like a paracellular spaces or large spaces between the endothelial cell through which the drug can pass. Okay, so these junctions are called as slit junction. So the drug here can go inside, okay, from these capillaries. Clear? But what happens with the case of brain capillaries is that they have a spatial barrier which is called as blood brain barrier. You can see the red one, it is actually your blood brain barrier. Okay, clear? After that is the basement membrane. So there is a very minute junction. You can see this junction here. This is actually called as tight junction. Actually it is a physical junction. Clear? So I want to tell the difference is that in the case of your brain capillaries, only lipid soluble drugs can pass. Only lipid soluble drugs can pass, because these drugs actually dissolve in the endothelial cell. This is actually your endothelial cell, and from there it actually absorbs inside the brain, okay, through the brain endothelial cell. So only lipid soluble drug can pass through this brain capillary. But in the case of the slit junctions, the drug should be like, it can be lipid insoluble also. Okay, lipid insoluble drug can also pass through this usual capillaries, okay, which are present in other organs. So this was the main concept. Okay, so lipid soluble drugs are main, as in the brain, like you can take the barbiturates, we have drugs. Okay, diazepam we have. Okay, so and levodopa is there. Okay, levodopa. So these drugs actually passes the blood brain barrier. Okay, so CNS drugs actually. Okay, and anesthetics also, general anesthetics also. But lipid insoluble meaning is that the drugs can be drug can go, the non ionizable drug can also pass, and ionizable drug can also pass. Clear? So this was the main concept behind the normal capillary and the brain capillary. Clear? So just main point you have to remember: lipid solubility, lipid soluble drugs which only pass through the blood brain barrier or through brain, and in this the lipid insoluble drugs can pass, okay, till the extracellular fluid only, not inside the cell, that is the intracellular fluid. Okay, so that is the main point here. Now the third factor is that the rate of the blood flow. Now rate of the blood flow meaning is that the bloods like the organs which are rich in blood supply like brain, liver and kidney, they have a rich blood supply as compared to other visceral organs, and adipose and skin and other have low rate of blood flow. Okay, so adipose and skin we have, and skeletal muscles also have a lower rate of blood flow, and because of that the distribution of drug is less as compared to the brain, liver and kidney. Okay, like you can see an example of general anesthetic drug like propofol. Okay, propofol, so it has a rapid distribution also and rapid absorption also. Okay, so that is why it is actually distributed very fast in the CNS. Okay, so it is actually a lipid soluble drug. Okay, general anesthetic, so that is why it has a less distribution in the adipose tissue or skeletal muscle. Okay, so that is why the propofol has a higher rate of distribution in the brain. Okay, so this is a general anesthetic drug. Now the next important factor we have the binding to the plasma protein. Okay, so that is called as PPB, plasma protein binding concept here. So the concept here is that after reaching the systemic circulation, okay, in the systemic circulation in the plasma there is some protein. Okay, so we have to discuss actually the two important proteins, and other plasma proteins are also present. Okay, so drug actually bind to this plasma proteins. So like acidic drug actually binds to albumin, just remember from A albumin and A acidic. Okay, and basic bind to alpha 1 acidic acid glycoprotein. Clear? So this point you have to remember. Now see the concept here. Now drug comes, drug was absorbed and enter the systemic circulation. Now the drug binds to plasma protein. So just consider this is your plasma protein, the large molecule. Okay, now here the drug binds like this at the site on the plasma protein. Okay, clear? So now the drug is binded here. Okay, it will be not eliminated also and excreted also, because it can't be filtered through glomerular apparatus. Okay, so there can be no filtration to glomerular apparatus, but it can be cleared through PCT and liver. Okay, as it is metabolized by liver. Okay, so the binds to plasma protein and the bound form. So bound form is inactive. Okay, inactive, or you can say the drug is stored here. Okay, temporary store of the drug in the plasma protein, and when the drug becomes free, okay, released or becomes free, then it is called as free form. Clear? So this bound form actually maintains the free drug concentration as constant fraction to the total drug in plasma. Okay, so the meaning is that if the drug is bounded here, so drug will be released slowly in the free form in the plasma. So as the drug is utilizing, okay, means the drug is going from plasma to the distributing to the tissues, then the drug will again release from this plasma protein bind and again distribute. So because of that the constant fraction of total drug will in plasma will be maintained because of this temporary storage of drug in the plasma protein. Clear? And now we have 2 points here, that is the if the drug plasma protein binding, if a drug is having a high plasma protein binding, okay, then its volume of distribution will be low. Okay, because 90% of the drug will be bounded to the plasma protein, so distribution will be very less. Okay, but the duration of drug action can be increased. Okay, so that I told you that the drug will be stored temporarily, so because of that the action can be increased, drug will be released slowly, so the duration can be increased, but the distribution will be less if the drug is having a high plasma protein binding. Okay, so this is the concept behind plasma protein. Now let's move on to the factors which be affecting the plasma protein binding, okay, and which can lead to the free form, that is a release of drug from the plasma protein. Now first factor is leaking albumin. If the leaking or due to any renal disease or renal impairment, if there is leaking of albumin, then the free drug volume can be increased due to the decreased level of albumin. So less drug will be bound to plasma protein, and due to which the free volume drug will be increased, okay. Second factor is low plasma albumin. In the plasma, if the albumin is less due to some chronic diseases, okay, chronic liver diseases a person is having, or renal failure, anemia, okay, so because of that, if the albumin is less, so the drug will be in the free state, the drug will be more, and due to that there can be drug toxicity, okay. And now the third point is late pregnancy. In late pregnancy, the concept is reversed, that is increase albumin, okay, and because of that, due to the blood flow, high blood flow during the pregnancy the women are having, and because of that albumin increase, and due to that the drug temporary storage of drug increase because of the more bonding on the plasma protein. Clear? This is the third point. And fourth is the displacement from binding site by other drugs. So this concept is that, if just consider this is a plasma protein, there are competition for one site, okay. So for binding there is a competition between, just consider sulfonamides and warfarin, okay. If a person is on warfarin, just consider on anticoagulant, okay, and now he has an infection, now he has started sulfonamide, okay, like you can say streptomycin, okay, gentamicin, okay. So because of that, now the sulfonamides have high ppb, that is plasma protein binding capacity, and because of that they will bind to the plasma protein. Now the warfarin will be free, and due to which there can be warfarin toxicity, okay. So warfarin level will be increased in the plasma free form, and because of that there can be toxicity of warfarin, and it can also occur with case of aspirin and sulfonamides, okay. Example like competition between aspirin and sulfonamide. So there are many examples, but this is a basic example and concept which you have to understand. Clear? Now the fifth factor is apparent volume distribution, that is an hypothetical volume of distribution, okay. If the volume of distribution, apparent volume of distribution, the formula for this is that amount of the given by the IV route, okay. So the meaning is that if we have given the drug by oral route, so the drug which is reached in the systemic circulation is actually called as the amount given by IV route, or you can say the amount reached inside the blood, okay. So the blood which is reached in the blood after the absorption is actually counted as an amount given by IV route in this formula, okay. And the plasma concentration, okay. So this is the formula for the apparent volume of distribution. This is a hypothetical parameter VD, okay. It has a no physiological basis, okay. So it is just a concept to compare the volume of distribution of two drugs, okay. So here if we have the large volume of distribution, we have large distribution, okay. So just consider an example. If a person is having a 5 liter of blood, this is a hypothetical value, okay, and he has given a 100 mg of drug, okay. So his plasma concentration is 100 by 5, that is 20 mg per liter. Clear? So now his volume, apparent volume of distribution will be like amount given by IV route was 100 mg, okay, which is reached the blood actually, and it can be different if it is given by oral route, because the blood can be metabolized in the first pass, and actually 50 mg 70 mg will reach, okay. In that case the amount given will be different, but in IV route it will be 100, okay. And plasma concentrator we have got 20, okay. Now it is 250, so 50 liter. So we have the volume of distribution 50 liter, but in the body we don't have 50 liter of blood or volume, okay. So it is an hypothetical parameter which is used to compare the drug distribution of two drugs, okay. So in that case we actually consider these three parameters, that is plasma compartment, ECF, and total body water. So we know from the basic or physiology that in our fluid compartment we have total body water, okay, which is divided into ECF and ICF, okay. In ECF we have plasma and interstitial fluid, okay. So ECF is around 28 liter, okay, and is 14 liter, just kind of 70 kg of man, okay, normal, and he's having a 42 liter of total body, okay. So 40 liter, and in this like 3 liter will be in plasma, and somewhat the left one will be in the interstitial fluid. Clear? So the meaning is that if the blood is in plasma compartment, that is in the if the drug is in the plasma compartment, it has a high molecular weight, okay. So like in heparin is having a high plasma protein binding, so it will stay more in the plasma compartment, okay. And warfarin also. And if the ECF, if the drug is staying in the ECF, it has a low molecular weight but hydrophilic, because it can't cross the intracellular membrane or intracellular space because of lipid insolubility, because the drug is water soluble, not lipid soluble, like aminoglycosides, in which we have streptomycins, gentamicins, antibiotics. And the drug which will be distributed in the total body water, that is an ICF and ECF, which I told you, are the drugs which will having a low molecular weight and lipophilic, that is lipid soluble, okay. So the concept is that the drug which is lipid soluble and low molecular weight is distributed largely, okay. Its volume of distribution is larger, and apparent volume of distribution is also larger, okay. So this is the concept behind the drug distribution. I think it is clear, okay. Next video will be seeing the metabolism of drug. Thank you. Do like and subscribe the channel.